What is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Flipside Focus. I am your host, a random dude, Josh, and with me, as always, my compadre from across the big pond, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny the Machine Hughes. Johnny, how are you today?
The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, that's great. What a great introduction. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Definitely a little tired, but that's what I get for adulting and working and
yeah. Hey, at least you get to talk about comics, right? So that's good.
This is true. This is very true. It allows me to shut my brain off from work stuff and talk about awesome stuff like comics.
Well, it's funny you should say turn your brain off. We have got something that's a little bit brain dead coming up later, right?
Yes, we do. And you guys are definitely going to want to make sure to stay for that because that book is definitely something to munch on.
Killing me, man. Killing me.
Well, I do what I can. But I guess before we jump into the dark abyss of books that we're talking about, there was a book that you wanted to just briefly touch on.
Yeah, the darkness. Okay, so right, so a little while ago we talked about the 25th anniversary of The Darkness coming out as a one shot. All right, so obviously you guys love this book so much that come the end of February, the 24th of Feb, you are getting the complete volume 1 of The Darkness, The Complete Darkness. Of course, it's written by Garth Ennis, David Wall, Malky Cooney, art by Michael Turner, Joe Bennett. There's also some Mark Silvestri chucked in there. What I like about this is that for all the fans of The Darkness, it's a must-have. Okay, it collects issues 1 through 18, Tales of the Darkness 1 through 4 and the half issue, Darkness Prelude number 1, and also features 3 issues of Witchblade, those being 10, 18, and 19. That is a shed load of books that you are getting here. Price for this book, it is only suggested retail price at $30, $29.99.
Holy crap.
I know. This is like 680 pages worth of darkness goodness, and it's 30 books. It's like, are you kidding me? This is like such a great value book for the era that it was made. I just thought because we talked about it in the past, we might have got sort of like give it a shout out and say, hey, if you like your darkness, go get this.
Yeah. I mean, for that price, I mean, yeah, you're getting a lot.
I think it's about 24, 25 books, comic books you're getting for your $30.
And the fact that you're getting it all in one book. So
the alternative covers are going to be in there. Image are great at putting stuff in that entices you to go and buy the book. So you know what?
Yeah.
It'll look lovely. It will look lovely on your bookcase. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Go
definitely.
Check it out.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, now that because I looked it up for those of you who are gamers, The Darkness, this book. So if you want to buy the digital version of the game on the 360, brand new, that's $19.99. So for $10 more, you're getting the entire comics and then some.
Yeah.
So I mean that in itself is a screaming deal. So definitely one that if you love The Darkness, you love great storytelling, pick it up.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Well, I think moving forward for the show, I had a segue and then
we've caught him in pensive mood.
Yeah, I kind of missed the critical shot there.
No,
Oh.
I think you still hit it out the ballpark.
Well, Johnny, this is your pick. What are we talking about today?
All right, so it's a trade paperback. It's Critical Hit from Black Mask. I absolutely love Black Mask Studios. They do a range of books that equal diverse, violent. There's just something about them. You know, the guy who runs the place. It's Matt Pizzolo. He has got his finger on the pulse, and he's launched the careers of so many people that are now working for the big two through Black Mask. So to say that he knows what he's doing, he's absolutely bang on right. So basically, the story here is that these two characters on the cover, that the blonde one, Sarah, the redhead's Jeanette, they and their friends are into rescuing animals that are up for vivisection and cruelty animals and hunters and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Lo and behold, all whilst on a mission with their friends, they find like an impound place to go back after hours, torch the place, slash the tires, and all this sort of thing. Turns out that they slash the compound and smash it up of these guys and a girl who are absolutely rogue hunters. You know the type. We're talking Quentin Tarantino style crazy. Okay, so the girls get holed up, stuck in a metal container, threatened with all sorts of crazy stuff going on, as you'd expect for young girls and stuff. And then basically, the you know what hits the you know where. All right. Now, interjected through all of this stuff is each character gets their previously on pages, so you get a bit of a history about all the different characters that are going on and how they kind of come across. And what I liked about this book, as much as I love animals, as much as the next guy, I mean, you know, by now you've all seen my cat and you'll heard the dog bark at some point. It was the layering of the story and the ramifications of the things that the characters go through that turn them into the people they are now. I mean, don't get me wrong, the action's good, it's fun and everything. But, you know, it's like the broken, failed romances. You know, one of them ends up getting, has an abusive boyfriend or an abusive relationship. One guy doesn't like the fact that there's a couple of lesbians on there because he thinks he can, you know, shag anything. To say that there's lots of nuance to it is a bit of an exaggeration, to be fair, because there's shed loads of it. The art can be a little cartoony. There is some really strong lines, but all in all, it works. It kind of sets the tone. It feels a lot more mature than it looks, story-wise. Yeah, I think there's some stereotypicalness in there. You know that, you know, I'm not gonna. The hunters are the typical type of. I don't know. Am I allowed to say rednecks on here? I'm not sure, but they're that type of survivalist first type of scenario. You know, and of course, with it being a diverse cast, you are going to get the lesbian characters and so on and so forth, which is, you know, fine, because, you know, this is the world we live in. It's representative of the world, which is great. There's the sympathetic character in there as well. So, you know, if you're into sort of like the Tarantino type of movies and the kind of stuff that he gets up to, I'm sure you'll see there's tropes and kind of touches that you'll say, oh yeah, I've seen this on such and such. So, and honestly, there's a dog in here that's as cute as anything. Poor Abby. Yeah. That's all I want to say. Poor Abby.
Poor Abby.
What do you think?
I liked it, and I'm the type that whenever I read a book, if there's a strong, the only way I can describe it is if there's a strong political message or movement in it. A lot of times I get turned off from it. I'm just like, oh, whatever. I don't need this in my books, whatever. I didn't necessarily get that overwhelming, here's our message, throw it into my face. It's there, but I thought the way that it was interwoven within the story worked.
Well, you and I are in the same boat with this, because you and I, over the last 10 months or so, we've both got dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're now we've turned into these people like, yeah, dog's a dog, pet's a pet. Now we've got dogs. They're like kids.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like if anything were to happen, to my dog, you sure as hell bet, it's like if anybody did anything to my dog, they better hope they can run faster scared than I can mad.
Yeah.
So, there's that definite connection between human and their pets. It's not just dogs, because I know people who do the same thing, for their cats, ferrets. I mean, you name it, goats. Yes, I know people who have pet goats.
We used to have a bearded dragon. It was class.
Oh yeah, bearded dragons, snakes, you name it. That connection that we have with our pets, that they end up becoming integrated within the family unit, is a real thing. So with this story, I appreciated the fact that they've incorporated that aspect into it. As far as the artwork goes, I actually didn't mind it. I liked the fact that you have some really bold lines. Very, the colors worked really well. The thing that I also appreciated is the fact that even on the panels that the people are further away, you can still see that they have features within the faces. I know we've said this on another show within Undercover Capes, where other big publishers get a little lazy with making sure that things like details in faces are there.
I think, and I'm not going to stick up for the big two, because you're absolutely right. We've talked about this numerous times.
Oh, and Freya's picked it out like every single time. If there's like a dot line for the face, she's on it like that.
It's great because it means I still have hope of getting into the comic book world, because that's how I got it. No, but I think it's a different. Tell me what you think about this then. I think sometimes indie books are a totally different medium to big two books.
Oh, absolutely. Because, and the reason why I would agree with that, indie books, you're able to write the stories and create the book the way that you want to. The big two are unfortunately limited by the powers that be.
And their mission statement. So, for example, and yes, I'm going to be generic. I'm sorry about this. I am going to be a little bit generic. And yes, I know there are going to be things that point against this, right? But for the most part, when you buy a big two book, you're getting superheroes. All right? For the most part. And for the most part, a superhero story has to have a level of dynamism in it. It's got to have movement. The characters have got to move. Whether it be Spidey swinging on his web, or whether it's Batman's cape blown, or whatever it is, there's got to be movement. So you've got to get those really big action shots in those splash pages that kind of accentuate the movement and the action of the piece, right? Now I'm talking generally, all right, because I know there are some Batman books that are quite placid in comparison. With an indie book, Josh, you're absolutely right. You can write it how you want to write it. So if you want to write 3 pages of 2 people having a conversation in a kitchen, boof.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the perfect example will honestly be the next book. Between this book and the next one that we'll talk about here in a moment is a prime example of the strength that the indie comic medium has that the big two does not. And at the end of the day, though, going back to Critical Hit, fantastic job. Absolutely loved it. I think one of these days we are going to have to bring Freya on, because I would love to pick her brain and see what she picks out of these books.
Yeah, I agree. I think Freya's got a really fantastic eye for detail. I think she's really great at kind of picking up the perspective and body differences.
Yeah.
But isn't that part of that's part of the charm of indie books, though, isn't it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the fact that you're kind of, you know, things aren't quite as, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I don't mean this at all, they're not quite as polished as Big Two sometimes, you know. And
let's be honest, we've read some Big Two books that
I'm on with that. But it's kind of
we've read some where indie books have put the Big Two to shame.
Totally. But what I'm kind of trying to say is that if you watch a TV show like Star Trek Next Generation or Smallville, the first seasons are dull as dishwater. Yeah. And it isn't until it finds but they're still good. And then it finds its feet, and then before you know it, it's really, really good. You know, Star Trek Next Generation from season 3 through 5 is fantastic. Yeah. Smallville, when it gets away from Meet Your Freak of the Week, gets really good. You know, that's not to say that the Meet Your of the Week episodes are bad. You just can't do it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes when I look at indie books, I like the fact that it's a world in motion, that it's a world of work in progress. You know, well, I pick up an indie book and I don't expect the polish of the Big Two. In fact, I relish the fact that it's not the polish of the Big Two, because I want it to be a little bit rawer. I want it to have more emotion. I don't want this kind of safe world where nobody swears and nobody has sex and by golly, you know, the good guy always wins. I don't want that in indie book. You know, I want my indie book to surprise me. I want it to shock me. I want it to make me think, and that's why I like indie books.
Yep.
Cool. I went on a bit of a Freya rant there, didn't I?
You know what? But it was absolutely fantastic and spot on.
She must be sending like a heebie-jeebies across or something. I don't know.
You know what? Maybe, but you know, talking about books that leave you shocked. This next one. That's all I'm gonna say is, damn. And no pun intended.
Well, you said it.
Yeah, this. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna. We'll just get right into it. This next book really takes a bite out of what you may be thinking we're going for, but it's Damned Cursed Children. Another fantastic book out of Source Point Press. I know we focused a lot on Source Point, but it's kind of hard not to when they keep putting out all these fantastic books.
I agree. I don't mind giving Source Point loads of press at all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm totally down. So, Damn Cursed Children. This book, written by, let me get to it, is written by Howard Wong, with art by Josh Stafford. And then I believe I got that right.
No, I think it's written, but I think you're right. Howard Wong's the writer with Josh Stafford. The art's by Robin Simon.
Oh, okay. You know, the thing that was interesting about this book is normally with books they have, you know, all the credits like right there at the beginning. Yeah. And I was looking through the book. I mean, aside from the fact that I was enthralled by this book, like once I started, I couldn't put it down.
It's good. To be fair, I only got the Who Did What off Previews World, so you know.
Okay, fair enough. Needless to say, you know, where we talked about how indie books really are able to write the way that they want to, this is a prime example of that. I would say the first 10 pages, you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Just 10.
Well, I mean, take zombies, make, definitely a zombie book, but it's all the little children.
Corn of the Dead. Children of the Corn meets Walking Dead.
Honestly, I was going to say more of Children of the Corn meets Zombieland.
Oh, there you go.
But, I mean, you're going to get all sorts of action. And, yeah, this book, the biggest thing that I appreciate the most out of this, aside from the fact that you've now got a book of, flesh-eating children, the fact that they went black and white.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fantastic choice to go with.
I think it had to be. I don't think you could get away with this if it was color, to be fair.
I mean, you could have, but on the flip side of that, it kind of brings back the nostalgia of those old black and white horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Let the shadows do the work. And that's what this book is doing. We have no idea why the children have become zombies and have no idea why they've gone completely batshit crazy. All we know is that the children are zombies. That's all you need to know. And now I need to have issue number 2 so I can find out what the hell is going on. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's a point. There's something going on. Some people might not feel so comfortable enjoying this book.
But if you're a horror fan, say like Al Mega, this book would be right up his alley.
Mm.
But then again, it's coming from Source Point, so I can't. It's to the point now that carries its own weight because they don't just pick anything.
That's a valid point as well, isn't it? The fact that Source Point have been doing so well for so long, you just know the level of book that you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's kind of a little bit how I feel like Black Mask. Black Mask might not be the most prolific of indie publishers, but when they put something out, it's going to be like fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this book. I have a confession about this book. This book was in my review pile for Crusaders, for ComicCrusaders.com this week, and I'm not a huge horror fan. It's not my cup of tea in any shape, way, or form. It's not that I get scared unless they're like poltergeists in it and stuff. That freaks me out. But other than that, it's just I'm just a little bit. It's just horror. It's just zombies, And when you kind of watch a horror movie, you know something's going to happen when the music changes. Mm-hmm. So I kind of passed on this the first time round. Man, I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't. Reading this book today, it's a zombie book. It's got kids in it. And you think to yourself, it's got to be done in bad taste. And you know what? There is bits of where kids are getting kicked all out and battered and all that sort of stuff. But the zombie kids.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I've had days with my kids where I wish I could batter them. Never have. The voices of my better angels always won out.
Yeah.
You know what? There is something a little cathartic about seeing all these little brats get their asses handed to them one way or another.
What? So the biggest question though is how are these little toddlers able to jump this freaking high in the air? I mean, this little bastard right here is damn near flying like Mario from Super Mario Brothers 3. got the tail and all.
Maybe we ate a mushroom. Oh. So maybe that's what did it. Damn it, maybe they've eaten a vegetable. All the hell they eaten has turned them into zombies. So this is book 1 of 5. So you're going to get 5 issues to work out what's going on, who's going to get eaten, who's going to survive, and so on. So this book also gives you kind of serves notice for who I assume are going to be the recurring characters, the adult characters in this book. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage to move away from the usual kind of tropes that zombie books kind of have. Dialogue wise, I thought there was some decent little dialogue in there. I like the two women, and she's like, "I'm going to coffee." Well, you were supposed to get some. It's a snatch of real life. It's kind of bang on there. The rest of it, I thought, was enjoyable. It surprised me absolutely. I liked the art. I thought the black and white, you're absolutely right. Get the shadows, get the black ink to do all the work for you. There's some panels where the kids look proper spooky as.
Oh yeah.
But no, I was really impressed with it. Absolutely, really impressed. I'd be interested to see where this goes. 5 issues for a zombie book. I know people will hurl abuse at me for saying this, but I'm not sure if that's too long. And yes, I know The Walking Dead's been going on for God knows how long, but there's only so many times you can go in The Walking Dead. Humans meet zombies, or zombies meet humans, or humans meet humans before meeting zombies.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I have complete faith that Howard Wong and his writing partner there will be able to get this absolutely bang on right and sort of pace it spot on. As a first act, yeah. I'm trying to think of some sort of witty thing to say, but I'll take a bite of this. It's got me by the neck.
Oh, God.
Hey, you started it. I didn't know I had to think of jokes. Yeah, but when I think about jokes, I was going to write stuff down. But no.
Well, you know what? The jokes will just never die. Oh, yep. I just went there. I would say that even though, yes, it's a 5-part series, the thing that stands out is the fact that this is the book that is going to get people hooked. Because in order to really get someone to commit to a 4, 5, 6 issue series, you have to get them hooked within the first couple of pages. And damn those cursed children, they got me hooked.
I know we haven't talked too much about it, but I love the cover. Reminds me of those old EC comics, from back in the day, the ones that got banned when everyone said the comic books were bad. Like the weird tales and stuff like that. So I quite like that. Zenoscope use this type of when they do like their grim tales, the specials, like the holiday specials, they do like an EC variant. So I'm always a big fan of those old school covers. Definitely.
Yeah, no, and for this to be the only thing that's really done in color, it works. I think let your imagination color the pages.
Either that or get a really big, strong red pen.
And color in the eyes of all the children.
Yeah. And the blood and the guts. Just buy 2 copies so you can save one. But, there you go. I'll even send you a red pen. There you go. Check it out.
There you go. There you go.
This is a Tri Plus pen. Oh, look how fine ink that is. Yeah. Didn't expect that.
Look at that. Well, speaking of Source Point Press, and them putting a lot of awesome books out, definitely want to give a quick nod and shout out. Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job #1 at the time of this recording is now available. And if you haven't had a chance to pick this up yet, head to your local comic book shop if you can, because I realize, given the state of the world, that's not always going to be the case for everyone. And so while we're trying to munch on what we're going to do next. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I take a bite out of it for you?
Oh, you're killing me. You are killing me. Killing me softly with your jokes. Killing me softly.
I think the jokes are coming to a dead end at this point.
I think people are switching off at this point.
Well, while we're doing that and Johnny's yelling at me about no more stupid jokes, how about you guys sit back, enjoy this ad for Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job.
Hey guys, this is Frank Ogle, writer of Dead End Kids and No Heroin. You recently heard me on the show to talk about my new book, Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job. Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job follows 3 former friends who have all been deeply affected by the events of September 11th as they struggle alone to cope with the long-term effects of that tragic day and what happens to them when they find a bag of cash stolen from a local drug kingpin. I just wanted to drop by and remind you guys that Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job is currently up for pre-order. For those of you who haven't checked out the original Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job is a fresh start, a new cast and a new place with a new crime. For those of you who love the original series, we've got the entire creative team back together again to bring you more of what you loved the first time around. But whether you're a new or returning reader, I think you'll really dig the new series. If you want to check out Dead End Kids, The Suburban Job, be sure to get your pre-orders in at your local comic shop by December 4th.
There you have it. Obviously, December 4th is already come and gone.
What? No! Damn it! I've got my order form right here.
I know, but it's now in shops.
Oh,
so, and from what I'm hearing, it's already selling like hotcakes. So definitely check it out. Again, another fantastic book coming out of Source Point Press. Dead End Kids, Suburban Job.
I think Frank Ogle's up there for my indie creator of the last year. Absolutely.
Oh, between Dead End Kids, No Heroin. I mean that one. If you're into vampire stories, and if you're a big fan of, say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that is one that you need to check out. And I know that that's one we've reviewed before, and I've even reviewed that for ComicCrusaders.com. So
I'll tell you what, it takes a lot to get Josh doing some typing. So, I'm not saying that he had his wife like dictaphone it or anything, but it takes a lot to get Josh typing. So that's how good the book is.
Yeah, I don't always do written reviews on Comic Crusaders, but when I do,
that
says something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Frank Ogle's up there for me. He's top 3. Stephanie Phillips for her work, The Butcher of Paris, the pirate book she did for Dark Horse, great.
Yeah.
And she's moved on to do some future state stuff. So, there's a whole bunch of people I think of the last year have just been absolutely outstanding.
See, Garrett Gunn's been one for me. Funny enough, another Source Point. Shocker.
Shock. Horror.
Right?
All right. So, it's a Kickstarter time.
Yes. Let's kickstart this segment off. That just happened. Oh, Johnny's he's gonna send me hate tweets later.
I don't normally drink 2 beers when I'm on a pod, but with Josh, I do. Josh, cheers, mate.
Cheers. Cheers, indeed. Well, Kickstarter. Well, it's funny you mentioned that that's your second beer, because the Kickstarter that you picked, 2 for Joy. I mean,
woo!
Was there a subliminal message by you saying, you normally don't drink 2?
No.
Just weird quinky dink.
Quinky dink.
Okay. Well, tell us about 2 for Joy.
I wish I was that clever. All right, so 2 for Joy. Okay, so the title comes from the old. Over here in the UK, we use magpies. Do you guys use magpies, or is it crows for you?
They're magpies and crows,
Okay, yeah. So
depending
it's
on
like,
the day.
so it's the 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for a boy type thing. Check out. I think it's Murder of One by Counting Crows to get the full rhyme. Hey ho. So this book is a physical copy of a webcomic, which is created by, he says, looking for the name quickly. It's Abby. Where is it? I've seen it already, and I've gone back. There it is, Abby Watson. And one of the reasons I picked this book is we always, and I don't. It's not done on purpose. I know it isn't. But we talk a lot about American Kickstarters. All right. This book is based in Leeds. Abby's based in Leeds, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours max from where I live. All right. So it's, for me, it's about giving a shout out to a local artist, right? Who's in my neck of the woods, who has put the time and effort in to put this book together. All right. So the fact that it's been a webcomic shows you how popular this book can be. All right. The way it kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the Dead End Kids stuff we were talking about. Maybe it's not pulled from the kind of upbringing that Frank had, or the 9/11 thing that the next book's about. However, the book is about 3 young adults spending a summer together. The way it works is the lead of the book comes back to his hometown after breaking his wrist, and the lead is called Art Douglas. He realizes that the birds are not quite what they seem, and they're leading him somewhere. So it's kind of like where and why. 3 blokes, 3 friends, spending the summer together, seeing what's going on. Art-wise, it's very stylized. Have an issue with the triangle nose, but that's probably just like the Sesame Street influence, you know. And now, if you honk them, I don't know, might work. But so I just like the idea about how these 3 characters are just hanging out, and there's got so much things going on. There's secrets, ghosts, murder. You know, it's 200 pages. So I think there's something in there. Where it is currently, because I know that's a big question for everybody. Let's see. It is currently at. I'm still getting used to these Kickstarter pages. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Where is it? Right, that's right at the top. All right, so they're looking for £900, which works out about $1,300. They're on 419 at the moment. They've got 18 backers. All right, so they're there or thereabouts halfway, and they've still got 28 days to go. All right, so this is a prime chance for you to get a hold of this. It's a web comic. This is a physical copy of that. So there's a link in the page, so you can go and check out some of the stuff that you can, on the web. All right, so you can decide for yourself whether or not you like it, whether it's for you, and you can go from there. But I just think from this point of view, I would go for it. Pledges. Let's see what you get for 10 whole English pounds. That's a kind of back it because you believe in it. Well done. If you go over for £12, you get the early bird specials. That's 1 for sorrow. That's a book you get early, and the estimated delivery for this is June 21. And yes, it's in Leeds. However, it ships to anywhere in the world. For pledges of £15 or more, you get the book, and it comes out on the time that it's supposed to. 4 for a boy, you get a book plate and the book, and then 5 for silver, the book, bookmarks, or a wooden pin and a book plate. and then 6 for gold, which is £30. The book, 2 book plates, wooden pin, and bookmarks. All right, so you're getting something that's a little bit esoteric, a little bit odder than you would normally expect. But honestly, I think it's a good little idea. I love the idea. The book seems, the webcomic seems popular. You're in a winner here. Winner, chicken dinner.
Right.
Yeah. So of course we are living in a COVID world. So bear in mind that all dates, I guess, and this isn't just for us in the UK. This is probably Kickstarters across the way. Dates might be fluctuated. They might be fluid. So just remember, COVID's affecting us. It affects comic book creators as well. So have a little bit of not compassion, but a little bit of common sense.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't know what our next door neighbours are doing. Never mind what people are doing across different parts of the world. So go for that. But I think what, it's going to be worth a shout. Definitely. Halfway there, and 28 days left to go. Are you kidding me? Really?
I know that in itself says a lot about not only the strength of the Kickstarter, but the fact that you have an existing webcomic is finally making the jump to an actual physical copy. And for the campaign to have launched just a couple of days ago, and you're already at, I actually did the math here, 46.5% funded within 2 days. Not too shabby.
There you go.
So definitely one to check out. To be honest, I like the color scheme.
Yeah. It screams of those hazy days of summer, doesn't it? I like it.
Yeah. It
there's that guy's nose.
Yeah. And that was the first thing that stood out. But the more I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I mean, we've seen worse.
It's a style, isn't it? So
it is. And the fact that they're maintaining consistency throughout the entire series at that point, and we have complained multiple times about we want to see consistency in artwork. So I applaud them for maintaining consistency in their comic. So job well done.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, moving forward, I'm going to when we do our Kickstarters, I think I'm going to try and find more British books, just because I think that's not a dig against American books, not at all. Have you seen my room? It's full of the damn things.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great opportunity for us to shout out creators from across the world.
And even myself, I always try to look for creators that are not necessarily stateside. I mean, there's a wonderful group of creators that are in Australia and Canada and the UK. So, they're all over the world. So this is not just limited to just the States.
And plus, if I'm promoting them in the UK, it means the postage is less for me.
True. Very, very true.
It's all about me.
Well,
honestly, it's not even about me. Are you kidding me? How?
Oh, man.
So what did you choose?
Well, so I chose one that is going to be very familiar for you because you had the opportunity to speak to the creators on an episode of Outside the Panels.
No, you're not talking about Space Bastards, are you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We are talking about Space Bastards Volume 2.
Wow, excellent.
So if you guys haven't watched Johnny's episode of Outside the Panels, after this episode, go watch that. And actually, I will have it show up right over there so that way you guys can click on it as well. Watch that interview. It was a job well done. Such a great episode. Make sure to also give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And then I'll, of course, do the same thing with this one.
Yeah.
But Space Bastards, I mean, what's not to love? Such a fantastic read. And the artwork, oh my God.
Well, you know where the art's from, don't you, right?
Space.
Swear to God. Killing me. It's Derek Robertson of The Boys fame.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're getting a solid book and a hardbound book, hardcover book. What's not to love? I mean, the story's great. You really can't go wrong with that. You're going to get action. You're going to get all sorts of entertainment from this. It's kind of a no-brainer. Not to mention the fact that with 22 days to go at the time of recording, and it's already fully funded.
That is what you call a guaranteed book, my friends.
And by backing it now means that you can scroll down here on the page. If you're watching this on YouTube, just scroll down a little further. You can see the fantastic artwork. Again, job well done. But then there's the different prints, and then you'll get into the stretch goals. So that's the biggest thing with Kickstarters is the more you back, the more stuff you're going to get.
Booyah. I mean, those stretch goals, I mean, you could even be a background character getting your face shot off. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I know some people that I would nominate to be the person that got shot. Do you know what I'm saying?
I've got a few ideas of names and things, but we'll save that for another day. Yeah. We'll just leave people in wonder. But to just go over the different tiers that you get. I mean, the fact that you've got the $1 tier, which is just backing the project because you want to just back it. And then it jumps to the $30 tier. That's going to get you the book, the hardcover book. I have to appreciate the way that they describe this, and I want to read it verbatim. Get the Space Bastards Volume 1 limited edition hardcover. Enjoy every inch of this 3-pound sausage of a graphic novel.
Who doesn't like sausage?
Right? So now, granted, there's 2 tiers. There's the Volume 1 tier and Volume 2. So if you've never read Volume 1, there you go. If you've already read Volume 1 or you have it, then you can get Volume 2, same price.
There's an interesting quirk to this book. For those of you who haven't checked out the pod, the OTP outside the Pals interview, the Space Bastards #1, the actual comic book #1, is out. You can go out and buy it in your comic book shop, and it's getting printed in floppy style. Boom, 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 boom. All right. However, the story runs a different path in the hardback, in the Volume 1. All right. You still end up in the same place, but you get there by slightly different means. All right. And part of that is down to the fact that when you do a graphic, an original graphic, you can write longhand. Whereas if you're writing for floppies, you've got to put things in like cliffhangers every 23 pages.
Yeah.
All right. Other things are slightly different from perspective point of views. So if you like them, what you should do is buy the floppies and buy the Volume 1 hardback. And that way you get the whole complete story.
Oh.
See, I listened when they talked. I wasn't just asking questions. I listened.
Well, I would sure hope so, or else this gets really awkward.
Oops.
Well, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you've never read Space Bastards, if there's any tier that I would recommend, I'd actually go with the $55 tier. You're going to get volumes 1 and 2. Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's not a bad price for 2 graphics, and that's especially when the hardbacks. So I think that's
Yeah, and again, it ships anywhere in the world with an estimated delivery of March. Now, I say that with, again, kind of the asterisks that you had touched on, given the current state of the world. That may fluctuate, but it's all good. You don't need to worry.
Well, for this one especially, and this is pretty much for the same as Two for Joy, these people who created this Kickstarter, these Kickstarters we talked about today, they've had success doing what they're doing. All right? So this isn't kind of like Joe Blogs, who's just kind of thought of an idea and is nowhere near. Right? Two for Joy, it's a webcomic. The stuff's ready to go. These guys, their stuff's ready to go. You said March, right, Josh?
Yeah, March.
Right. So that's like less than 6 weeks.
Yeah.
These guys have got their fingers so on the pulse, it is ready to go.
Well, and the fact that you don't have to wait for the book to be done.
Yeah. I was going to say we've probably waited longer for one episode of the Doomsday Clock.
Oh,
not that I'm still bitter about that at all. DC Comics.
No. Yeah. Or I mean, there's been other Kickstarters from other big name creators that took years.
Are taking years. I think there's a statute of limitations on Kickstarter, isn't there? Yeah. If your book hasn't been out in the last 10 years, stop asking for money for it.
Right. Oh, jeez. But yeah, Space Bastards, and this is one that as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, that is one that we have to highlight.
Yeah, good shout.
Just because it, I enjoyed the episode of Outside the Panels, and then
good guys.
How fitting that, hey, they've got an already fully funded Kickstarter campaign. So
cool. Josh is right. Check the book out. It's because it's chaos. It's chaos personified.
Yeah,
clever lettering, clever colors. The ideas behind it are spot on. There's some Batman Beyond references in there. There's I knew that'd get your face going. A bit of Judge Dredd style in there, little 2000 AD.
Well, and the boys.
Sorry?
And the boys.
And of course the boys. There are similarities in a couple of characters. Which, to be fair, with Derek Robertson's work, you can kind of expect, because you've got to appeal to the audience. But don't let that stop you, man. This book is absolutely, I read it. I read issue 1 of the first volume, and I had a stupid grin on my face from here all the way to here. I was like, what? And
that takes a lot for a book to do that to you.
I don't want to sound like I'm an old timer or anything, but I've seen plenty of books, so when you get that reaction, it tells you you're on something, right? Just the same as the way you felt about Damn Cursed Kids. So
I was going to say, is that the same reaction you got reading Bone?
Well, that's a whole different thing.
Oh wait, no, that was Bud. He's the one that likes the Bone.
Yeah, Bud loves Bone. I don't know if that.
If you guys don't get the reference, you need to go back and watch that episode of the Old Timers Comic Book Show. I want to say that was episode 3.
I think it's 3.
Yeah. Actually, you should just watch them all. But episode 3 was fantastic. That's where you get to hear Bud and 13 and Johnny talk about how much they enjoy Bone.
What can you say? The heart wants what the heart wants.
Oh, man. Well, another fantastic episode. Well, Johnny, another episode in the books.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. And we hope you guys enjoyed this episode as well. If you did, and you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give it a good old thumbs up, leave a comment. And I mean, that sort of thing just helps the algorithm and all that.
You know how it works by now, surely.
That's true. It's true. But, might as well cover our bases. And then, as always, make sure to check out all of our shows on the Undercover Capes Podcast Network, including...
Well, we have the Definitive Crusade hits this week, where we talk yet again about more future state stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's also No Price Podcast. So if your flavor of the month is a little bit more Marvel, you'll need to check that pod out.
Absolutely. And then also, if you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, that's right. I've got actual cards here. We've got a new show called The Jank Think Tank that is starting this week. So if you're big into deck building and all sorts of things Magic related, check that out. I guarantee that the episode will not curl like this card does, because the new foils curl. Oh, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Will there be stuff on there for the newbies?
What was that?
Will there be stuff on there for the newbies as well?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. That's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely ties into my current obsession.
Fetish.
Obsession.
For men.
Well, actually, you'd be surprised.
I was going for the Calvin Klein joke, don't worry.
I know. You.
Sorry, I'm dating myself. Not literally. Sorry. I know I'm good and all, but hey ho.
Oh man, never gets old. But needless to say, we've got a whole wide variety of shows on the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Check it out.
I just love how we keep growing. We keep adding shows. We've got K-pop on there, got old timers. We've got the Magic Gathering stuff. What spoilers? Where else would you go to get such a range of shows?
It's true with an awesome range of hosts too. I mean, we mentioned Bud, we've mentioned 13, we've mentioned Freya.
Yeah,
I mean, and then there's the International Comics
Crusaders on the
Crusaders,
yeah. You got Hammered Heroes over on Twitch.
Drunken Chat, son.
Drunken Chat, sorry.
Yep. So Hammered Heroes is the predecessor to that. That's the old timer show.
Hashtag copyright.
Make sure to check that out. And then, of course, make sure to check out comiccrusaders.com for all of our awesome reviews, including a boatload from one Johnny the Machine Hughes. He just cranks out reviews like a machine. So
like a machine, like a
machine. Awesome. Well, on that note, we will catch you all in a fortnight.
On the flip side.